Hey, Lewis, this is another one. Diet tips and mates won't let me quit drinking. Hey, Lewis, my name is Pat. I've been watching your stuff since 2015 and I saw you in Port Macquarie. Legend, mate. Thank you. Also, I've shown so many people your comedy special and I've also gotten them onto your stuff as well. Dude, that's awesome. I love people who fucking share my shit and get their mates onto it. That's amazing. That's how we grow here. If you enjoy what I do, share some shit. I've got a podcast clips channel, Lewis Spears Podcast Clips. If there's a funny clip from the podcast you want to show a mate, jump on that channel, link it to them, say it's Spearhead Sundays. Let's grow this shit. That's awesome. Thank you, Pat. Anyway, I'm 22 and I've been drinking since I was about 17 and I've reached the point where I want to go on a diet or something. I only weigh 84 kilograms, so I'm not overweight, but I'm starting to have a shit rig like Luke. I cut out alcohol for this reason, and I went to my friend's house on the weekend, and when I told him I didn't want to drink, it was like I told him I fucked his dad. He cacked the shits because I didn't want to get drunk with him and his mates, and because you can't see my shit rig, they don't believe me that I want to be healthy. How do I get them to stop trying to peer pressure me into getting drunk with them? And do you have any suggestions for diets or fitness tips? Have a shit one. Okay, so fitness is pretty easy. I used to be a personal trainer. It's not that hard, especially, you know, you're 84 kilos, you're a young dude, you got a good base to work with. That's how you should look at it. I think when you're skinny, it's hard, and when you're really fat, it's hard. But when you're like a little bit overweight, what you have is a great base. You've probably got a lot of muscle under that, and because you're a little bit heavy, because you carry around that weight. But you don't have so much fat that you're going to see results like instantly from doing this shit. Google a program called Starting Strength. If you have the ability to go to a gym and it's safe, Google a program called Starting Strength. Do that and then add in like 1 day of cardio, whether it's running, swimming, riding your bike, whatever. Walking every day in the morning helps heaps, like more than you think. And then you basically just want to cut out sugar. You've already cut out alcohol. That's a huge thing. And just cut out sugar. You don't have to remove sugar from your life, but just stop eating shit that has sugar in it that isn't a treat. Do you know what I mean? Like if you want to have ice cream, sure, go for it. Don't go overboard, but have it as a treat. But don't be fucking eating like cereal that has sugar in it or fucking canned food that has heaps of sugar in it, or lunch that has heaps of sugar in the sauce. Like so much stuff has a lot of sugar in it. If you can avoid it, you don't have to cut it out completely, but if you can avoid it, you will lose weight like that. Cut out Coke, cut out soft drink, none of that shit, and just have a treat and make it special. Don't be eating it all day and you'll be sweet. Starting Strength is a great program to put on a bunch of muscle quite fast, and it teaches you all of the compound lifts and then progress from there. That's my advice to you. Fitness-wise, alcohol-wise, so I don't drink, but I have never drunk. So I've never had to do what you're doing, which is drinking with the mates and then putting the brakes on. So it's a little bit different. I don't have experience with that, but a lot of the time, I've come to realize, so I didn't drink, and then I kind of suffered socially for it. I got pushed out of parties, and people didn't want me around, and it came from insecurity on their part. They thought because I didn't drink, I would judge them for drinking, and they were insecure about it because a lot of people know that they shouldn't drink as much as they do. Drinking is bad for you. And especially in Australia, we've got a real big binge drinking culture, especially in smaller towns, which you are from. You're not from like a tiny town, but it is smaller. It is a big issue and it is bad. And a lot of people do know that. Okay. I think that's fair to say. You can enjoy it in moderation, but I think most of us don't, right? So a lot of people do know that it is bad. And a lot of people, when they make a positive change for themselves, people feel insecure in themselves when they see you doing it if they're not doing it also. It sounds like that's what you're coming up against because really, if you think about it, if you not drinking can ruin someone else's night, that is them. That's not you. You're not doing anything. It doesn't sound like you are going, and you should also be sober. It sounds like you just want to hang out and not drink. So the only thing that I can tell you is it comes with consistency on your part. If you really don't want to drink, it's not you might have one or two. It's not, you'll drink every 2 weeks. It's not you'll drink once a month. It's you don't drink at all. Because the minute you start caving to peer pressure is the minute people start going, we can get him around. We can convince him, this, that. He'll come around. We'll show him how fun it is, and then he'll have a drink, and then he'll have 10. You know, if you really don't want to drink and you really want your friends to support you on that, you need to stop completely. Don't judge them. Don't be a dick about it, but just tell them seriously, preferably outside of a party environment, because if they've already had a few and you're talking to them about it, it's fucked. What you want to do is like in the middle of the day on a Wednesday when there's no alcohol in sight, hopefully, you want to go, hey man, so I don't care what you do, but I've decided to stop drinking. I don't enjoy it. I don't think it's good for me, and I'm trying to lose weight and become healthier. I love you, and I love hanging out with you, and it's fine if you drink, but for me, I'm going to stop, and I would appreciate it if you didn't try to get me to drink because it's hard for me, and you doing that makes it a lot harder. So as a friend, can you just not, you don't have to not drink it around me, but can you just not offer it to me? That would be great. And to be honest, if they can't do that for you, they're not your friends. You know, if you want to better yourself and they want to prevent you from doing that, they're not your friends. You know, at the end of the day, they don't want what's best for you. So that's not your mate. That's how I view it. And that's what really helped me was it's consistency. Because, you know, from your friend's perspective, if you don't drink, but then, you know, all right, I'll have one, then you do drink. You just need a bit of convincing. So you need to be consistent as well. You don't have to be a dick. Just every time they offer, just say, no, thank you. What also helps is have something else in your hand. Have a Coke. Have a fucking lemon lime bitters. Have a ginger beer. Have something in your hand so that so that they can't offer it to you. Because you do look a little bit weird if you're just standing there with no drink. I always have something. It's never alcoholic. And that helps. And then eventually, you know, really, it'll take 3 months of you going to parties, going to events, and them offering you and you saying no every single time. Eventually, they don't even offer. That's what happened with me. And that still happens to me to this day. Like when I meet a new person or when I hang out with new people who don't know that I'm sober, they'll offer me a drink and I'll say no and I'll get something else. And then I'll see them again and they'll offer me a drink and then I'll go, no, I don't drink. And then it just happens. They're doing it because it's normal for them. They're not trying to get you to drink a lot of the time. And then they just go, oh, Lewis doesn't drink. And then now I'm at parties and they go, Lewis, do you want a Coke? Do you want a water? Do you want a ginger beer? Like it's normal. So you just need to stay consistent. And just have if they keep offering, just have a serious talk and say, hey man, you know, no disrespect to you, but I really need you to stop offering me shit because I really don't want to do it. But I still want to be your friend. I still want to hang out with you. And look, to be honest, if they can't have fun with you while you're sober, and if they don't want you to improve yourself, they are not your friends, and you're better off without them.